Hello everyone, I don't want to share any useful advice. How can you use this foam? I buy household appliances. You have seen more than once that they pack a large amount of foam, and usually all this foam is thrown away. But if you are a summer resident or live in a private house, then you will never throw away foam again. First of all, I will need a plastic cup like this. It can be any other container. I just have such a cup in stock. The next time we take a piece of foam and break mine into pieces that can then go into this glass. Now that we've placed our foam, I'm going to need a Zellol solvent like this. So let's add our glass to the village. Well, this amount will be enough, and we will remove the foam of everything. But as you can see, almost the entire pile of foam has already dissolved. That is. Now we will melt the rest, so that we get a slightly thick composition, about like a liquid jelly. So here's what we got. All the bubbles are gone. The composition turned out to be like a liquid jelly. That's enough for us. And now we take the brush. Sanded board. Well, I sanded it slightly. Well, I show the difference immediately. Here are the stickers with scotch, so that later we can see the difference. So just the first part. We cover it like a varnish. As you can see, the tree appears as if from under ordinary varnish. And we'll see the effect when it dries. But now, let's do the same thing with this piece of paving stone. That is, we also seal half of it with tape. To see the result. Well, we cover one half with our composition. As you can see, the composition immediately highlights the bright color of the paving stone itself. And most importantly, this is its composition. If you suddenly cover your paving stones like this with a homemade varnish, it will not be washed off with water. That is, it goes deep into the pores. But again, if the composition makes it thin, if it is thick, then it will lie on top. Now we're waiting for these to be all thoughts. But now let's try to seal this composition using a collector that I bought at a hardware store. For this I will need 2 cups. I pour part of the composition into a new glass. Further, let's just take a little bit of cholera. Whoa. That is, he polishes quite a bit. Okay. Now with the resulting composition, we cover another part of the board. That is, in fact, it turned out like a chilled varnish. Dye, you can add any. My dye says the color of garnet. Even a lot. I poured it. Well, the tree is already beginning to appear. That is, it takes on as much dye as it needs. We decided to speed up the process of drying it using a construction hairdryer. We will now try. It dries right before my eyes. Absorbs, that is, it's also like this. Useful advice. If you suddenly need something to quickly cover a small soap, then you can blow dry the composition. The most important thing is that it goes deep from above. Practically nothing remains. Well, as you can see, that's it. It's already appeared. Well, to make the experiment completely complete, I took a piece of metal and decided to try painting it too. But before I do that, I degrease it. Now let's see how this composition falls on the metal. Well, so that it was visible, so that it was opaque, I took just the knees of the composition. Fits perfectly. But what will it be needed for? I think you guessed it. To protect the metal from rust. That is, roughly speaking, what is it? Protective coating against rust? Well, we will also try to dry it with foam. Well, if you dry it with a hair dryer, it also becomes matte. But the composition remains on the metal. With the help of the fact that we touched up the composition, this is clearly visible. Look here, it's painted here, it's not painted here. You can see. But now let's see what the composition does. Remove the tape. I will say right away that it has been literally half an hour. So we dried. Hair dryer to speed up the process. Here we go. We'll take it. We cover with simple water and see what the result is. How do you see? Here you can even clearly see that this coating works as a hydrophobic. The liquid has coalesced as if. That is right here. She immediately absorbed it. You can see it right away. You can see it here. You can see the droplets. We put it sideways. This is how you see the composition at work. Now let's do the same with the stone. We take the cobblestone. I don't want to, so they peeled it off. Well, the first thing you probably see right away is that the difference is in color. That is, here it is so matte. That is, it is a really bright color smudged here. That is, this composition works like a varnish for stone. Well, now let's do the same thing by pouring water on the paving stones. As you can see, the result is immediately evident where it was not covered. Immediately it was absorbed, where we covered with our composition. As you can see, all the water is on top. Because of this, your pavers will live much longer. So friends, I hope that this advice with foam plastic will be useful to you. In fact, with paving stones, it really came into my own. Because every year I treat my paving stones with a hydrophobic composition and spend a lot of money on this. Now I will do this. Almost free of material, and I think the effect will be even better. I hope my advice was useful to you. Be sure to like it. If this is the case, if suddenly you are not subscribed to my channel, subscribe here for a lot of interesting and useful things. But for today I have everything. Bye everyone.